Hey everyone, it's Dr. Barden here. After a fair bit more technical headaches than I would like to admit, I have finally got Wwise up and going on my computer, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about it. So, if you want to work with Wwise, there happens to be a few built-in kind of game demos and projects that we can work with, and for this class, I'm going to recommend that. So I'm going to start just by showing you how you get this set up. I haven't been able to check because I just found out, but actually this should be in on the computer lab computers for you to be able just to load up and run. So I'm going to show you how I was able to get it up and running here. So first things first, in the Wwise launcher, or what they call the Audio Kinetic launcher now. If you don't have Wwise installed, this is how you go about doing that. So you would just click on Wwise. You would pick your version that you want installed, hit install, and I'm going to just leave it on here. I picked a slightly older version because of those technical difficulties, like I mentioned, but they have a variety that you can choose from. I don't really have a preference. I haven't had any major issues with 23.1.11. For a resource that I'll give you later does stuff on, I think, 2018.0 something. So that might be a useful one to install. When you're going through the installer here, I'll start it, but I'm not going to install another version. There's a few things that you need to check. The first one on this deployment platform, pick what platform you're using this on. I'm doing this on Apple, but if you're on Windows, you get your Microsoft, and they have other options here. Okay, that's all I get into there. But just pick your setup for what you're wanting to do. So I had my Mac OS for that one, and that'll change how large the install is. Don't really need that there. Over here, you'll probably want the authoring, the C++ stuff, and that's what comes in relevant here. Make sure you've got that deployment platform set up. If you want the offline documentation, like the help files and things, that's where you would click that. But what we care about is under samples, click the cube demo. You click that one, and once you've got that, and I'll click Mac OS just so it's got all the bits. It'll say, okay, here, we then pick where you want it to be installed. It'll tell you how big everything is, the space you got, and you say next. You can install a variety of plugins right into Wwise from the install. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. For what we're doing, I don't really care, so we can skip through that. Don't have to take anything, and then you just hit install. At that point, it'll go through and it'll install everything you want. I'm going to hit back, though, because I don't want to install another version. So that'll take however long it takes. I don't know what your computer does, and like I said, hopefully this is just already good to go on the computer lab computers. But once it's all done, we can head into the toolbar on the left, and under samples, we go to the Wwise samples, and you'll see cube pop up. And this is where we start to access all of that. So run cube is going to be what we're going to need. That's going to actually be the game. But we also notice this button, open in Wwise. And if you click that, it'll open up Wwise, which I have right here, the project session. So this is handling all of the audio rendering and effects and things like that. We'll start off again by just connecting into the game. So you'll need this one. Don't need to click the solo button anymore. That's from some tests. And then we're also going to, so we click the open in Wwise and then run cube. And that's going to open up the cube game. I'm just going to minimize the launcher because we don't need it. The cube game, wonderful, wonderful little game. I'm just going to click in there, kind of move around, shoot, jump, magic. I don't actually know what the goal is. I got green now. No, now it's blue. but this one doesn't have any enemies at the moment. I think we can play around with that in the settings, so we can like just adjust different things. So, but for right now, I'm just gonna keep that paused, and I'm just gonna tab into Wwise. All right, so we'll hop back into here. So what we need to do is connect Wwise to the game in order to see what's going on and manipulate it and all of that stuff. So to do that, we need to do a few things. So this is the remote platform, reconnect remote, or just this one next to connect remote platform, either one. And we basically have to connect to the port for this game. So it's running on a specific part of the CPU, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to dive into all that, but just know that you can connect to it through the IP address. So if you're lucky, you'll see it just appear here. So this is, just basically games that you can connect to in Wwise. That's how you can think of it. They have to be running on the computer. If you don't see it here like I did, there's some stuff that you can do, and we can talk about that when you need, but I had to go and run some commands in the terminal in order just to find the port. But then once you've done it once, it will appear in the history. So you say connect to IP, and it just happens to be right there. So five, 3, 9, 8. So this is just saying, hey, on my local device, every computer 127.0.0.1 is the root, that's the home, that it is the device, and then that port is just the specific one the game's using. We say okay. Unable to. Do I need to rerun the terminal? I'll find out. Boop. So that's gonna run. It's going to take a second. So if you run into this issue, you'll see the stuff there. Yep, yeah, it's a different port. That's annoying. So this one right here where it's labeled by TCP with listen, that is the port that we want. So I'm just going to copy that. We go to connect to IP 127.0.0.1 colon that number. Okay. And now it's connecting. So we get the audio from the game here in Wwise. So if we were to move around into the game, it's this one. Just click back into there. We'll leave the menu. You can just see right there that it is moving and adapting in real time. So we're basically there. It's all connected, but let's actually look at what is happening. So in order to see everything that's happening, let's go over here to the layouts, and the profiler is what we care about specifically. These are profiler settings. This is saying, hey, listen to the game audio live, capture those events as needed. So that's all handy stuff. So anyway, layouts, profiler, and then boom, this window pops up. There's a lot of stuff happening here. So I'll do a little bit of breaking things down. But first, because just the game will pop up in the way, some of it we'll see that down here you can see some meters that see the various usages and performances while the game is running. We can see different calls and stats and data. Over here are kind of some graph and wire layouts of the actual sounds and things that happen. So we got different entities. So there's a teleporter that makes a sound, and that just goes through the mat, out to the system. Music, same thing. As a default at the player, you get heartbeats, cube themes. It all goes out there. So there's a lot of stuff. Voices, these are the sounds. Audio devices, just system, sound, just all the general stuff here. We'll hop back into the graph. And then over here, this window is the capture log. This is everything that happens in the the game audio wise. So let me just move this up, and I'll just move it over here because I care more about the log than the game, and I'll click back into it. I got whatever the hat does. So that one's missing something for there. So let me tab back into Wwise. There we are. So we can see all of the different things and click on them in just to see more information. Maybe we wanted to filter stuff out and get like, hey, only the footstep sounds, only the weapon sounds, the whatever things. You can filter it just to set that up so you can just type right in here to filter those out based off of labels or specific objects. But let's say I wanted to look at this action right here. I can maybe this event, we click on it. Why isn't it loading? Okay, that's not, I mean, we more or less got there, but you can pull up and just get a lot of different information about each of these different events. So, you know, for item spawns, you click on that, you can specify, you know, hey, when an item spawns, what stuff happens. In that case, it's play the file. Is basically it for right there. So we can look and get more info about the different sound events as they happen. So if I click here on this, actually let me find a footsteps instead. If you look at the footsteps here, I just double clicked on the footsteps object. We got this information, so we can see that there's it'll play a variety of sounds based off of the material that you're walking across. Tile, metal, gravel, dirt, concrete, ball foot. I'm assuming that's like barefoot, but I don't know. I didn't make the game. So you can specify all of those assigned objects there, how it routes, things like that. We just move this down, so this is where we can say, oh, hey, maybe pitch this sound down, add some filters and gain. So a lot of just general settings, things like that. Where we start adding in the effects. So if you wanted to add an EQ to it, well, here's that EQ you can start playing around with. I'll backspace into here so you can start affecting the sounds that are getting played in different ways here. All right, so I'll pause it for just a second. So again, if you want to get this kind of up and running on your computer, you definitely can. And I'll kind of in the following video, we'll just mess around a little bit and keep going.